and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ810am or on YouTube, channel RJAM News. To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup. Education Radio, hosted by Pia Morato, is on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Teleradio Bandido, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ810am, and YouTube channel RJAM News. This brings service to all educators and learners of every age. The program guests include secretaries, dignitaries, ambassadors, lawmakers, professors, volunteers, and heroes, all dedicated to contribute to this valuable advocacy. We take the streets to the classroom and the classroom to the streets. Radio Bandido, recognized and awarded as protector of your democracy in EDSA 1 and EDSA 2. In 2022, our democracy will be put to the test once again. So Radio Bandido will strike again. Our democratic army is in place to give you unbiased, real news and facts so you yourself can decide. Legendary and game-changing commentators. Our lineup, starting with the legendary Ray Langit, joined by the most influential bloggers in the country, Banat Bay and the Pugad bloggers, and other dynamic commentators, Tita Carmen, Jimmy Morato, Barbie Atienza, Bernard Tan, Johnny Gomez, Pete Morato, Sal Panelo with Sal's Panel O, and more announcers and reporters fighting for democracy. Teleradio Bandido is heard on DZRJ 810 AM, seen on Sky Cable Channel 224, TV Plus boxes, and streaming live on Facebook/DZRJ 810 AM, and YouTube channel RJAM News. Education Radio, hosted by Pia Morato, is on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Teleradio Bandido, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ810am, and YouTube channel RJAM News. This brings service to all educators and learners of every age. The program guests include secretaries, dignitaries, ambassadors, lawmakers, professors, volunteers, and heroes, all dedicated to contribute to this valuable advocacy. We take the streets to the classroom and the classroom to the streets.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Isang magandang umaga po ng Sabado sa ating pong mga kababayan, sa ating pong mga tagapakinig sa Education Radio, tagapanood po. No? We are also being streamed live. Please don't be surprised. I am Undersecretary Joel Siegco. Miss Pia Morato is kind of busy right now, no? This morning. She has very important thing to do for her kids. So I'm filling up for her. So for this morning, mga kababayan, we're going to introduce to you the new spokespersons, no, on Education Radio, the new spokespersons of the National Task Force on Media, National Task Force on Ending Local Communist Armed Conflict. Today, we're going to be joined by no less than the chairman of the Stratcom cluster of NTF-ELCAC, Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy. And also with us are some of the 8 spokespersons of NTF-ELCAC. No? Makasama po rin natin at ating po inihintay, no? Sila Ms. Gabe Florendo, si Attorney Marlon Bosantog, and si Assistant Secretary Celine Pielago of MMDA, and Undersecretary Nonoy Catura of the Presidential Human Rights Committee Secretariat. You know, last Monday, in a press conference, our Vice Chairman, National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon Jr., Secretary Esperon, announced that NTF-ELCAC is adding 6 more spokespersons, no? Well, to its pool of communicators, and those spokespersons include me and the other names that I mentioned earlier. And of course, to complete the list, kasama din po namin sa 8 spokespersons, of course, si General Antonio Parlade, ang Southern Luzon Command Chief, at nandun din po si Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya ng DILG of DILG. So why Education Radio? Of course, we're here to educate people about well, these fresh updates from the NTF-ELCAC. We're going to talk a lot of things about what NTF-ELCAC is and what are the specific roles of these spokespersons. No, just recently I was interviewed in another station, and I was asked, sabi, why do you need so much spokespersons in just one agency? So I told them, no, kulang pa po yun. No? So today, this morning, we're going to expound on that. Bakit po natin nasabi na kulang pa po yun? So my answer to that, my response to that was that we need more voices. No? We need more voices from the sectors, from the farthest barangays in the country. We need to hear the voices of our kababayans there, especially in what we call geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. All right. So I think Yusek Lorraine Badoy is here already. No? If Yusek Lorraine Badoy is here. All right. Oh, I think she's not yet in. And of course, would like to greet muna also our colleagues in NTF-ELCAC. They're also watching us right now. And all right, sige. Okay, so Ms. Gabe Florendo is here with us already. And Ms. Gabe Florendo is to give you a brief background po, no? Ms. Gabe Florendo is the Assistant Spokesperson for Public Affairs and Indigenous Peoples Concerns. ASEC Celine Pielago is the spokesperson for Public Affairs and Youth Concerns. So we have very thematic and specific assignments, no, yung designations po natin. And Yusek Lorraine Badoy is the spokesperson for on social media concerns and sectoral concerns, no? And of course, General Parlade is going to be the spokesperson, is actually the spokesperson for the security sector concerns, no? For security sector concerns. Yusek Malaya of the ILG is the spokesperson for Barangay Development Program and LGU concerns. Of course, Yusek Catura of PHRCS is the spokesperson on international engagements and human rights. And you know, Yusek Catura also has a deep background on the peace process. No, he was very active in the peace process in the past. And also with the aide, Attorney Marlon Bosantog is going to be the spokesperson on legal affairs, no? On legal matters. Siya po ang legal expert natin among us spokespersons of the NTF-ELCAC. And who else ba? Of course, si Celine Pialago. Sino pa ba hindi natin na-mention? Miss Gay. Ay, all right. I can see her on screen already. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. With no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our boss, no? In the Stratcom cluster, the head of the Stratcom cluster of NTF, ELCAC. Ito, isa sa mga boss natin yan. But when it comes to ELCAC matters, no, this undersecretary from the Presidential Communications Operations Office, ito ang direct boss ko po dito sa NTF, ELCAC. Talaga naman, oh, fresh na fresh. And I think she's still, no, fresh from visiting that malayong barangay, no? Ikukwento po mamaya yan ni aking papakilala na boss natin. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you guys, Yusek Lorraine Badoy, no, for her preliminaries, no. Yusek Badoy, welcome to the show. This is actually Pia Morato's show. Thank you very much,
hello.
Pia.
Good morning, Music
Ako muna ang reliever ni Pia for this morning. Yusek Badoy, yes, please.
Yeah, well, it's great to be here sa ating mga tagapakinig. I've just come from Northern Samar, and I went to some of the barangays that are the beneficiaries of this beautiful program that has the real and vast potential to take millions out of poverty and to really give the Filipino people authentic peace, genuine peace. Ito yun. I'm talking about the Barangay Development Program. And there's so many people that I want to thank for that it has made its landfall. And our pinaka-makinabang dito ay the poorest of the poor Filipinos who've had decades of a history of violence and terrorism in their lives. These are the poorest of the poor, and they had it in the hands of the CPP, NPA, and the NDF. So, I know we trekked through mud, I saw how they lived, and I really want to thank from the president to the NTF, ELCAC, ang mga taong bayan who support us, and also, of course, the legislators, our congressmen and our senators who approved the budget of the BDP, because it is really a good thing that we have done. We have really, these are kababayan. Finally, they'll have schoolhouses, they'll have farm-to-market roads, they'll have water, potable water, they'll have electricity, mga ganon. So I'm really, really happy that this is happening, and there's no stopping it. So that's
Ang
it.
galing. Yes.
Nakakasaya.
Yusek Lorraine. Yeah. You know, sa pag-iikot po nila Yusek Lorraine, no, marami tayong nadidiskubre. No? We have been seeing a lot of things, discovering a lot of things, and one of those things, ito nga, sabi nga ni Yusek Lorraine, medyo nakakaiyak. No? Nakakaiyak. Yeah. Yung sa ibang mga barangay na malalayo po na yan. Remember, no, USL, if you'd agree, no, out of the country's poorest provinces, no, I think there are 10 or 20 poorest provinces in the country.
Samar.
Ito yung mga lugar na nandun sila, no?
Samar,
and I think there was one experience, no, na yung local official, wag natin sabihin kung saan lugar.
I see it all over.
Yung first time na tumapak dun sa malayong barangay, no? That's the beauty of the BDP and NTF, ELCAC. In fact, nauna pang dumating si Yusek Lorraine doon sa barangay na yun.
Grabe. Tama talaga si Pangulo, Yusek Joel. Tama talaga si Pangulo na if you want to end this, it's good governance. And in other words, the consequence is that it happened because of poor governance. We didn't take care of our people. We didn't do our jobs as public servants. This is why it happened. That's why this insurgency happened. That's why they were exploited and abused by these terrorists, is because government was not there. We did not do our jobs. Hindi natin, it's the best part of my job when you go down on the ground kasi nakikita mo kung sino yung pinaglalaban mo. So tama talaga si Pangulo na I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Talagang ito so overwhelming experience talaga. And I really think that all public servants should go down and once in a while get to know the people that you serve, so that you're not you don't sound detached and you don't sound out of touch. You know what the realities are. Parang nakakagulat kasi, di ba, Yusek Joras telling you, this is not the first time I'm doing this. Plenty of times I've done this and I find out that this is the first time that a local official, an elected official has gone to a GIDA, di ba? And they go there kasi parang napapahiya sila that somebody from the national government is going down there, but it's not really because of their love for the people. But it's also maybe more complicated than that. That I think that they're afraid. That's what I've heard. They're really afraid of the CPP, NPA, NDF because once a local official goes there, papatayin sila. Yan ang CPP, NPA, NDF. Ayaw nila na maramdaman ng ating mga taong bayan ang gobyerno. So they're highly, highly invested in keeping the poor and ignorant and fearful, and they don't want the Filipino people, the poorest of the poor, to get out of poverty. They don't want us to be in touch. They don't want government to be in touch with the Filipino people. So, yan ang atraso ng CPP, NPA, NDF sa atin.
Grabe. You mentioned about yung killings, yung mga pinapatay. And a few days ago, si Gay, mamaya, I think she's going to expound on that issue of reprisal killings. Yung reprisal killings, pag-uusapan po natin mamaya yan. But before we call on Ms. Gay Florendo, Yusek Lorraine, with these 8 spokespersons composing the communications team, we are the national spokespersons for the information of our kababayans who are watching and listening to us right now. So could you give them a brief siguro explanation or ano yung logic, lagi tayong tinatanong ako. I had been asked this a number of times already, but dami-dami ninyo, so let's hear it from our Stratcom chairman. Yes,
you know why we need more spokespersons? So it's so simple. You need to take a look at the organizational structure of the propaganda machine of the CPP, NPA, NDF to know this behemoth of lies and deception in all sectors of our society. They're in our schools, in our churches, they're in media, they're in our factories, in our government, in our bureaucracy, they're everywhere. And these are liars and deceptors and so honesty talaga, 8 is not even enough, and we know that. So there will be more. That's the good news for the CPP, NPA, and there'll be more of us. We're like gremlins, para po pinapunan ng tubig. There'll be more. Because actually, when you get right down to it, Isaac, Joel, and Gail, and Jimmy, and everybody here, talagang bawat Pilipino ay spokesperson ng National Task Force to End Local Communist Action.
That's right.
Because the title of this is the whole of nation approach. Everybody, all of us have had some experience with the kind of abuse and terrorism that this terrorist organization has done on us. Can I just
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. I was running with my husband this morning. I was running with him. And I had to stop and I was really weeping. I was really crying because I had a conversation with DJ Nika last night. And he was writing the names of the victims of the Rano massacre. And then he said, you know what? I was writing their names and their ages. And do you know that more than half of them were children? No? I mean, these are children. And one of them was a pregnant woman and an unborn child. Diba? What have these terrorists done to us? Diba? And there's not enough. There are not enough stories. There are not enough that all of us have to speak up. We all have to do our part, no matter how small it is. Don't think it's small. It will all add up, and it will be a roar that will really drown out the lies of these liars and these deceptors. So there's not enough spokespersons for all the crimes and atrocities that this terrorist organization, CPP, NPA, NDF, and all their fronts like CEGP, Ibon, Karapatan, NUPL, NUJP, all of that. There's not enough spokespersons, so we all have to speak up.
Right. And ang napansin natin dito, Yusek Lorraine, in the past, parang may certain feeling of apprehension or fear that whoever goes against them or what they're saying,
Yeah.
kuyog mentality na yan.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I understand that because
Yeah.
I came from there also. No?
Yeah.
I had experience in the
You are a cadre. You are a cadre.
I was a former
Say it
cadre.
loud. Say it proud.
Former, with more emphasis on former and ex.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of saying that. Diba? I was a communist cadre. I was yung was po. Let's emphasize on the past tense. No.
Yeah.
All right. So
Can I say something again? Can I say something again, Yusek Joel? One of the most powerful weapons of the NTF-ELCAC and therefore of our country are the former rebels. Those of you who know what it's like, di ba? Kayo talaga, actually, you're in the front and in the center because these are liars. So a lot of us, no matter how brave we are, we're in the dark. We don't understand what's going on, di ba? You're the ones that shine a light. You're the ones that shine a light on all of these lies and deception. And you know what? I find it really beautiful kasi yesterday I was in Northern Samar in Katarman, and we went to a halfway house where former rebels are already having de-radicalization and healing, di ba? And it was really beautiful to watch that kind of kasi I had to tell them that yung Joseph Campbell na quote na where your wound is, that's where your light will shine, di ba? And you are the guys that are really you've made something really very, very beautiful out of this terrible past that you have, diba? And it's really moving our country forward. So I'm really, really grateful for the job that you do, Yusek Joel. I mean, seriously, diba? Paano kung wala kayo, oh my gosh, diba? Ang hirap, nagkagaling na mga sinungaling, diba? So, but that you're there, and you're the one saying, ganitong ibig sabihin yan.
Thank you, yes.
It's so
Alam po natin yan, ako. Kaya, late 80s, early 90s pa kami dyan, no? Matagal na naming ni-renounce talaga yung when I was enlightened, talagang totally nahabol-habol panla ako ng araw. Ayoko talaga. Niloloko nila ako. Imagine at the age of 17, 18, I took up arms, no? Diba? Imagine. Tapos ilang encounters, saka mga operations yung at least naka-survive tayo, no? Pero at the end of the day, yun ang tanong ko saan ba tayo pupunta? Wala walang maisagot din yung mga Tapos, di ba nag-away-away pa, sabi ko, wala na, tigilan na ito. Wala, hindi totoo ito. Forget it. Forget all about it. But anyway, Yusek Lorraine, you mentioned about them, So, tama. Behemoth ang kanilang propaganda machinery. So, naintindihan po natin. They cannot deny that. No?
Yeah.
And when it comes to information kasi, they play down, no? Dina-downplay nila everything that's good about the government.
Yeah.
And they also downplay, yan yung card nila dyan dina-downplay naman yung mga bad na ginagawa noong kanilang kampo. No? They learn to master, well, it's their craft, no? Sabi mo nga, yes, they're propagandists, they are liars. No? I believe so. I know that. Because there are two kinds of propagandists. Yung talagang nuknukan ng sinungaling na propagandista, yung hindi ko nabanggit yung pangalan ng spokesperson nung CPP pinagtatawanan natin.
Si Marco Balbuena.
Pangalan pa lang.
Hindi naman yata totoong tao yon. Obviously,
fake yun. Kaya wag po kayo maniniwala.
Kahit yun, hindi nila kayang gawin ng katotohanan, di ba? Talagang
that's right. Sarili mong pangalan, di ba? Sarili mong pangalan. They're always hiding in the shadows. Kaya sabi ko, huwag natin sasagutin yan, Marco Balbuena na yan. Kasi Marco, warlike, Balbuena, ang taas ng tingin sa sarili. Yung po ang etymology ng pangalan na iyon. Anyway, so, Miss Gay, yan, pakilala naman natin Yusek Lorraine, isa pa nating beautiful spokesperson ng NTF-ELCAC at si Miss Gay Florendo, mga kababayan, ang ating pong spokesperson on indigenous people's concerns, no? And she's also the Assistant Public Affairs spokesperson. So, Miss Gay, please pakiliwanag po sa ating mga kababayan, sa ating mga taga-subaybay, yung inyong pong roles, specific roles sa NTF-ELCAC. And of course, we're going to discuss about reprisal killings later on. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Yusek, Joel. Good morning, Yusek Lorraine. Good morning po to everyone. I'm not really used to being in public, sir. So this is just my second interview. So But I think it's really our passion, every one of us, to just share what the NTF-ELCAC has been doing since it started. So this whole coming together of our agencies, from the national to the local level, sir, it's just unprecedented. Hindi pa po nangyayari ito. And we are looking forward to getting everyone, of course, to be on board na rin. And just do our share of getting itong good governance across all four corners. So that is what I think my primary function, to get everyone on board, to get them to understand kung ano pong ginagawa natin sa NTF-ELCAC. Because as you have mentioned earlier, we have lines of efforts or clusters of agencies. We have 12. We have, for example, itong poverty reduction and livelihood and employment sector headed by TESDA. TESDA has been very active. They have been going around. They have been reaching itong remote communities natin. I remember joining them, sir, and Yusek Lorraine, sa isang tinatawag na downtown ng NPA daw. This was Manurigao in Davao de Oro. And I was with my batchmates from Ateneo. They also joined the TESDA activity. And TESDA, ang dami pang areas na pinupuntahan ng TESDA. They train our communities to install solar lights. So makikita ninyo, these communities that have never seen light before, talagang ngayon maliwanag na, and they have light bulbs na sa bawat kabahayan. So this hasn't happened before, and we would like everyone to be part of this campaign, na marating lang, kahit marating lang natin at masabi lang natin sa kanila na nandito tayo, para hindi sila maudyok, na ma-recruit, mapasama sa armed movement na pinangungunahan nga nitong yung People's Army. So I mentioned 12 lines of efforts po, or clusters of agencies. We also have, of course, ang ating joint regional task forces. So these are regional groupings. So we have 17 regional task forces. So as assistant spokesperson for public affairs, I and ASIC Celine will be talking about the activities of these 17 RTFs and clusters or lines of efforts. And pangalawang nakikita kong function, sir, is to make sure na we give sufficient coverage to these activities, lalong-lalo na those that really manifest itong ating whole of nation brand of governance, of good governance. So that in a nutshell, sir,
Yes.
and
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Kay. No? Kanina nabanggit na nga natin yung about sa Irano massacre, too many killings, no? And alam naman natin yan, there were and there have been, no? So many atrocities committed by the other side na dinadownplay nila. And this Rano massacre is one of them, no? So a few days ago, I think the biggest challenge for you now, Miss Gay, is when you speak for the indigenous peoples, no? Yung andyan na yung papasok na yun, paano ba sila nagagamit, paano sila naharas, and many of them are being killed, na? The killings of IP people are continuing, no? In fact, a few days ago, you mentioned that in 2020 alone, there were 20 IPs killed, no? Victims of reprisal killing. So could you expound on reprisal killings? Ano po ba itong reprisal killings na sinasabi? And gano'n po ba talaga karami? Ang 20 lang ba o maraming pa, Ms. Kay?
Yes, we in the NCIP has been very active in monitoring itong developments natin, sir, from the ground. What usually happens is we get reports from our IT leaders themselves through text messaging, and then what we do is talagang we blast it so that everyone will know right away what's happening. So when we say 20 or at least 20, talagang we can accurately say it is at least 20. And we know the names of these IT leaders who have been brutally killed talaga. One of them is Latu Jomar Bucales. He's been helping us sa ating campaign. He's been speaking about itong mga schools in Surigao del Sur which have been used to get funding from abroad. But we knew later on, hindi po ba, sir, that these schools hindi man lang DepEd accredited. And so what happens, itong mga recruits or children which eventually become recruits of the NPA, they spend 4 or 6 years in these schools only to learn later. They have to go back to square one. When they want or intend to enter itong DepEd schools natin or any school for that matter. So they were closed through the efforts of Datu Jomar Bucales, and he's been very vocal about his efforts. So nalaman na lang natin that he had been killed and his eyes were taken out. Ganun ka brutal. And then all of the others, sir, were killed kasi yun na nga, they were speaking against the NPA. They were exposing what the NPA has been doing in the countryside. And the others naman nag-surrender na or bumalik na sa gobyerno at bigla na lang sasabayan at tatambangan. So, and they do this in front of their wives, children, and the community. So ganito po yung nangyayari. And
all right, I think the terms you used were for their refusal to support or to join
yes,
the NPA kaya napapatayan. No, alam mo, nako kung pwede ko lang ikwento yung mga pinagagawa namin nung araw kaya lang hindi eh. And well, Yusek Lorraine, alam mo, there were I heard criticisms about ito daw ating bagong itong strengthened. Ito po ang tawag dito po sa ating team strengthened and reinvigorated communications team of NTFL CAC. And we have this media bureau which I head right now for the information of everybody. I'm the head of that media bureau, Ang akin naman pong task, ay media engagements, just like what we're doing now. And of course, fact checker, So lahat ng lumalabas po mga information na officially nire-release namin ay bine-vet po namin yan, pinag-aaral mabuti, kailangan may facts and all that. Ngayon, alam mo naman, yung mga nasa kabilang kampo, walang makikitang maganda pagka gobyerno ang gumagawa, di ba? And I heard na may mga nagsasabi, ito daw, tayong 8 daw, sama pala ako, tayo daw 8, ay walang gagawin kundi maghasik ng kasinungalingan. At katakot-takot daw na taging-taging, ayokong bagitin yung taging-taging na yan eh. Yusek Lorraine, ano masasabi mo doon? Gagawin pa tayo ng sinungaling dito, hamunin ko ng lie detector test.
It's coming, if it's coming.
Please go ahead.
All those criticisms, a lot of it are coming from the CPP, NPA, NDF, and I would take it as a compliment that we're being called liars by liars. And the reason that they're targeting us is because we are very effective. We have unmasked them and we've taken their masks out, these masks of nobility and decency, right? So they know that the reason that they're saying all that is because our people now know who they are, and that's because of the National Task Force and also because of how the people have experienced them. But if it's coming from like I said, if it's coming from the CPP, NPA, and it's a fantastic compliment. But of course, you need to listen, diba? You need to listen to some of them. May be legitimate concerns about what we're saying, di ba? But we stand very, very, very boldly in front of you, of the Filipino people, to tell you that this is a government that really truly cares and defends and protects its people. And no matter what the criticisms are, we're very clear about our job and our duty to you, which is to protect you and to defend you and your children, and to defend and protect our country from these terrorists. And this will end before the president steps down. We're very clear about that. It will happen.
Wow, very nice. Very optimistic, no? Na-fire up lalo ang ating Saturday morning because of Yusek Lorraine's optimism. But I believe her, and we all should, no? Well, talaga namang it's been how many? 53 years, no? No, when I was active, 20 pala. Imagine mo, tumagal pa pala yan ng 33 years. No? Ganun na pala ako katanda.
Ang hirap ang hirap kasi, di ba, they're really deeply embedded, di ba? Tsaka 52 years unchallenged sila. So, the truth is, in government, we find it also challenging, di ba? Like, there are a lot of setbacks, di ba? Like that case in Cebu. That case in Cebu really breaks my heart. That's the truth. I cannot pretend. And it's being used. But basically, what that case is saying is that those crimes might have been committed, but it's just mali lang yung what's it, the territory? What do you call it? I'm not a legal person. So, but anyway, my point being, part of our job here at the NTF-El Cap is to know that the job's never done. That you keep on keeping on talaga, you keep on keeping on, and you don't have the luxury of being disappointed or really for long. You know, you don't have the luxury of being stuck in being overwhelmed, diba? Because it's really a whole of nation. That's the genius of the EO70. And as the chair, who really appointed himself, who volunteered himself, the president is the head of the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict. And this is a man whose heart is really for the people and really service to the Filipino people. So there's no way that we're going to fail in this. There's none. We're not giving ourselves that option.
Yes.
We're not.
And imaginein mo, no, so I understand, no, I feel your point and all that, because ako, ang realization ko naman dito, yung kapabayaan ng mga dati. Bakit hinayaan nila yan? Di ba? Hinayaan nila eh. And ngayon, this administration, no, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are all pro bono here, no? Linawin po natin yan, ano? Kasi ini-issue pa yun, conflict of interest. Akala nila, sinesweldoan tayo ng extra dito. Kami pong 8 na national spokespersons ay kinausap sa isa kung willing kami mag-volunteer, and tinanggap po namin yung hamon. So, yung mga ganong propaganda po, huwag din yung pangalanan. Ay, paniwalaan. Alam mo, Yusek Lorraine and Gay, no? And Jimmy is here also, Jimmy Villanueva of the Stratcom Cluster. Alam mo nung nilabas yung kailan ba to? I remember, no, this week, si Secretary Esperon, di ba, meron siyang pinakitang videos during the oral argument. Pag-usapan natin to, kasi ito, common sense eh, parang, ma-explain ko bakit parang walang common sense kung si Joma Sison. Pinalabas, ang sabi niya, yun daw sa mga, if I'm not mistaken, yun daw mga pinakita na videos, no, kung saan nire-red tag ng Master Red Tagger, si Joma Sison, yung mga underground organizations, no, nakasapi ng NDF, ay sabi niya, I think I read it from somewhere, wala naman daw siya sinabing connected si underground doon sa mga open and legal front sila, the mass organizations, di ba? So, eto sabi ko, ang bihira naman talaga itong taon to. So, kung tinatanggi mo na walang taong hindi connection, sino yung mga nandoon sa mga underground mass organizations mo? Ipis, Lamok, Langaw. Di ba may tao doon? May mga members yun na underground. Who are they? And that's what, hindi po mga Ipis, Lamok, Langaw ang... ewan ko, it's just a matter of common sense, no?
Nakakatawa sa kanila.
May tao po yun.
Yeah.
Yung mga underground operators, sila mga tao po yun. And that's what we're, trying to do. That's what we're exposing, no? Yung dual tactics, no? Yung duplicity. Parang ako nung araw, di ba? Legal front ako, chairman pa ako ng aming organization. No? I was chairman of Bayan Youth in our chapter. only to be recruited in Kabataan Makabayan in a few months, and then another months pa, ano na ako, nag-NPA na ako noon. So ganun yun eh. May tao doon, hindi po mga ipis lamok langaw ang nandun sa mga underground operations na yun. So Joe Masison cannot deny that. Cannot deny that na walang koneksyon. Di ba? Imposible yun. Proud na proud pa nga siya. Pinangalanan niya eh. So meron po mga tao yun. At nasaan nga yung mga tao na yun? Yun nga po yung umaabab. But not all of them. But not all of them. Iba talaga nagagamit lang, no? Sumasakay at, na-entice before they are indoctrinated. So yun yung ano doon eh. I really found it funny, no, when he said that. By the way, Yusek Lorraine, and Gay, no, and Jimmy is here also. Ito na, nilabas na yung Anti-Terrorism Council resolution naming them, no, as terrorists. So all 19 CPP officials, no, and 10 yung Abu Sayyaf, no, if I'm not mistaken. So what's your take on this, Yusek Lorraine? Kasi we're it's our obligation to explain that to the people, di ba? So what's your take on that as Stratcom Cluster Chair?
It's a big leap talaga in our fight to end this, because finally ayan na, that's a step away, but it's a journey, it's a long journey. It's been a long journey, ha, Yusek Joel and Jimmy and Gay, and this is one big step, because ang susunod dyan is you proscribe and then tuloy-tuloy na yan. Their house of cards are gonna fall down, and we're very happy that we're on our way there. So that it's so funny that Joe Masison is, of course, they're trying to minimize it, but I know that they're really they're peeing in their pants right now because of all of this. I'm really happy. Can I go back to what you said kanina, Yusek Joe?
Yes.
Underground yung link na yan, and yet the evidence is incontrovertible, and it's a tsunami of evidence. That, for instance, Marvin Cruz, 21 years old, joined us Ibon. He was an Ibon and CEGP, I think, and then died as an NPA. There are plenty of them. They join us. Gabriela, died as an NPA. There's plenty of them. So they cannot deny that. And we stand very clearly with our statement that Makabayan Black, Carlos Zarate, Eufemia Cullamat, Ferdinand Gaite, Arlene Brosa, Sara Elago, Franz Castro, are all high-ranking party members of the CPP, NPA, NDF, and they're there in Congress. Okay, we all know that. The funny thing about these people is they think that they can insult our intelligence over and over. Kahit nga yung in their own pages on Facebook, wala na talagang in their own pages, the Filipinos themselves, di ba, are already making fun of them and mocking them, di ba? Because we already know. Kaya lang pinaninindigan nila for a lot of reasons. And I think one of those reasons is because this is a syndicate. It's the biggest crime syndicate in the country. It's really, a lot of it is because of money, di ba? So that's it. Let's just stop that BS about ideology and blah blah, di ba?
Yes, you mentioned money, no?
Yeah.
Alam niyo po, no, again, if I'm not mistaken, I was not party to the oral arguments, no, dun sa Supreme Court, no. But the way as I understand it, the way I see it, no, yung ito namang designation by Anti-Terror Council, by the ATC, no, meron silang 15 days, no, whether to ask for deletion or for them to be delisted, no, doon sa listahan na yon. And ito kasi more focused on yung financing. Yeah. Di ba? So you mentioned about money. Ito yung financing, nakatutok to eh. So the Anti-Money Laundering Council, di ba, can now scrutinize, no, the flow of money between and among these people. Tapos iba pa yung prescription. Sa korte naman yan. So magkaiba po yun, mga kababayan, to our dear kababayans who are listening and watching us right now, no? So those things are different, no? Designation by the Anti-Terror Council, it pertains to their assets, no? Yeah. The money flow that changes hands or online or whatever, no? And prescription, ito naman sa judiciary naman to kinukuha, magkaiba po yan. But anyway, so Sige, tanungin natin si Gay. What do you think will be your biggest challenge, no, as a spokesperson for NTFL now.
Nakamute kayo, Ms. Jay.
Please, paki-unmute. Yes.
The biggest challenge would be to make sure that the voices of the sectors, of the communities. Earlier, we talked about the agencies, clusters of agencies, and the JRTFs. So now I'm going to talk about the need for the voices of the clusters and the communities to be heard. So that, I guess, is the pressing challenge for me as a spokesperson for public affairs and Indigenous people's concerns, sir. Because this is easier said than done, I think. But this is very important to get their hopes, their aspirations, their intentions across, especially while the BDP, our Barangay Development Program, our flagship project, is being implemented. I would have that, I think, is the pressing challenge for everyone.
All right. Oo nga. Ako, sayang, no? We're still waiting for the other spokespersons to come in, no? Kasi aga-aga naman Sabado. Ganyan po kami, no? Kahit wala po kaming, kahit gratis nga po ito, no? Para po sa ating mga kababayan, dumigising talaga kami ng maga. In fact, no? Mula nung in-announce yung pagiging spokespersons natin, every day, wala nang oras, no? Umaga, tanghali, hapon, gabi, talagang maraming tumatawag, humingi ng mga paliwanag. So, obligation.
Kaya General Parlade and I are really happy because it's really for the first months that we're experiencing a bit of rest, alam mo, talaga. Kasi we're very happy kasi really, di ba, because the way we designed it talaga at the very start was that each cluster would have a spokesperson, di ba?
That's right.
That's it, di ba? And yet it didn't happen. So now this is really good that we're here because there's so many issues
That's right.
Need to know and that they need to be enlightened with. So
yes.
We just keep on keeping on, and all those criticisms, you already know how to handle them.
Yes.
A lot of it is
in fact,
a lot of it
we
is
should not be distracted, di ba?
Yeah.
We should not be distracted. Hayaan mo yan kasi style po nila yan. You know, to additional info ito. Style yan. They will distract you. They will keep you busy answering their issues against you.
Yeah.
Bakit? Para wala ka na magawa. Maubos ang oras mo kasasagot sa kanilang mga pot shots, nitpicking, mga senseless na mga ibabato sa'yo. Sinasadya po yan. That's part of their communication strategy yan eh. Diba? Bibigyan ka ng problema, create an issue, sagot ka naman ng sagot. Pero remember, hindi mo na aayos yung talagang trabaho mo. Kaya we are here going to maintain focus. We're just, wag na natin pasinin yung mga sasabi nila because we serve a huge and a vast majority of the Filipino people. Ako, lagi sinasabi, you said, pwede ka ba mag-respond dito sa tira ni ganito, ganyan, doon sa Barangay Development Program. Hindi, sabi ko, ang iniisip ko, kukwento ko na lang sa'yo kung paano natutuwa yung mga kababayan natin sa 822 barangays, no? I just rather delve on the good news, no? That our people would like to hear from us. Hindi yung kikipag-away. Alam mo kasi, ibang mga tao, ang gusto niyan, kontrobersya. Uy, nag-aaway si gano'n. Yung mga chismis mentality. But hindi na po natin papatulan yun. We are here to debunk their lies by telling the truth. And we're going to give you all the good news that they've been trying to downplay, for the longest time. Hindi naman lang ibabalita yan eh. Even their social media and mainstream media partners, no? Kung sabi natin, ganun po talaga. That's how it works. And as an update, yung sa Barangay Development Program, as of May 12, Yusek Lorraine, Jimmy and Gabe, ay, di ba, 75% na release ng BBM. So, this accounts for 12.3 billion of funds na direkta na nandun na. And I think in most areas, construction are ongoing, for roads, farm to market roads, sanitation facilities, tapos water, tapos yung school buildings. Ganun po yun, mga kababayan. No?
Joel.
So 75% na po. And 25% na lang, no? Konti na lang ito. I think little over 150 o 167 barangays na lang ang hindi pa nare-releasean, no? But they're all in the pipeline right now. So tuloy-tuloy na po yan. And here's another thing.
Yeah.
By next year, no, meron pang, I think, more than 1,400 barangays, no? Cleared na kailangan mabiyayaan din ng Barangay Development Program. And Yusek Lorraine, nako, ikaw, bago ko i-turn over kay Jimmy, kasi alam nyo, ang aming pong cluster, kami po yung bumubuo ng Stratcom cluster, kami yung through Yusek Lorraine as the chair, no? Andito rin po ang ating secretariat ng Stratcom, si Jimmy Villanueva. Hindi lang po ganito ang ginagawa namin, umarap sa media, na kami sabi, uy, dakdak na naman silang dakdak, they're spewing ano na naman. Ganun yung mga mga intrigerong kalaban natin no. Kami po ay may mga mas malalim pang mga ginagawang programa at mamaya papaliwanag po yan ni Jimmy. Yes, go ahead, Yusek Lorraine.
Yung the Barangay Development Program, kasi what you said were numbers, di ba? I'll tell you the stories. We went to sa Las Navas, ito sa Northern. Sa Las Navas ay stronghold yan ng CPP, NPA, NDF. So talagang hawak na hawak yan ng CPP. Ang ibig sabihin nito, itong Barangay San Miguel na to, yan ang yan ang realidad nila sa buhay. Mga anak nila namatay, mga asawa nila. Last year ba yun, may isang batang 9-year-old na namatay dahil tinapon yung granada, tinapunan ng granada yung kanyang bahay. So yun. So he died. So I'm saying, so how we got there was we waded through mud. Hanggang lampas ng oras naglalakad kami sa putek para makaabot doon. Pagkatapos pagdating namin doon sa barangay, wala silang yung bahay nila parang bahay ng aso. Yung ganon. So ang saya-saya nila. Alam mo, saya-saya nila talaga na Isik, salamat, meron na kaming tubig. In order for them to get potable water, every day, pupunta sila. Yung daanan namin na parang mamatay-matay kami. Kasi mountaineer ako, so sanay naman ako mag-trek. Pero ngayon lang ako nakita ng ganung putik. May ganun palang putik. Yung talagang putik. Ano ba ito? Putik talaga. Tapos pag ano pala, talagang yellow. Tapos pag rainy season pala umaabot sa mud. Hanggang sa knee, yung mud na yan. So, putik talaga. Talagang So, but that's their daily reality. So, in order for them to get potable water, they have to walk over about an hour or so para bumili ng tubig. Tapos sasakay pa sila ng malayo na ang mga isang oras pa just to get water out of that they can drink, di ba? And then they go back, they trudge that heavy but because of the Barangay Development Program, magkakatubig na sila. Doon hindi na nila. And then on top of that, yung road na yan, magkakaroon sila ng road, maglalakad na sila, di ba? So they were so happy. They were so happy talaga. Talagang yakap talaga. So, yakap back. Baka iba health protocols na nakamas naman kami, gano'n. Pero parang that's why I really want to thank the legislators, our congressmen, our senators, everybody who made this possible, the local chiefs, our president, taong bayan, di ba? That this program made a landfall finally. And we're talking about how 822 barangays, it will be millions of Filipinos in extreme poverty. So it's a very good thing that we've done despite our differences, our imagined differences. Diba? Because this is what a democracy is, diba? It's noisy, it's chaotic, push and pull, and but at some point we were able to do something good to our people, diba? That despite our differences, and we should be able to stand on that shared ground talaga, that shared ground of love for country and our people, because it is a good thing that we have done. Yun lang. Thank you.
Naalala ko yung kwentong putik na yan Alam niyo po, tumawag sa akin talaga si Yusek Yusek Lorraine, sabi niya, Yusek Joel, may ganitong klaseng putik pala sa Pilipinas. Sabi ko, seryoso talaga, malaki ko pinuntahan nito. Well, that's the beauty of having NDF-LCAC, itong BDP.
Yeah.
Si Yusek Lorraine Badoy from an official of Malacanang, pumupunta po sa mga ganong kalalayo. At hindi lang siya. Kami rin po ay nag-iikot. Sila Tony Preservo, sila Gay.
Yusek Joel.
Nag-iikot sa malalayo, yes.
Can I say something? When I go there, they say, maraming salamat, etc., etc. Ikaw lang yung unang undersecretary na karating dito, ganun. That to me is not a compliment. it's an insult to the government. Because it means you should be down there. We should go down
That's
there to the people that we're serving. We should know. I mean, you should not be in your air-conditioned offices and speaking so out of touch, diba? So
Yes.
yun, dapat the way, my dream is for public service to be what it ought to be, the way I see our president do. He goes down to the barangay level and he knows how important it is to really know the people, diba? And to be with them. The president keeps on saying, don't be a politician if you don't love the poor, because the poor they only have government. But if you're not going to serve them, kawawa sila, they'll never get out of the grip of poverty. So you have to love them. You have to go down there, and that's it. We should do that's what
Right.
we have to be doing. Yeah.
We are all on deck and hands-on. Yun nga sabi ko, that's our policy, no? We have one message and with 1,000 messengers, no? Ganun po kalaki ang task ng Stratcom cluster ng NTF-ELCAC. And konti na lang po ang ating nalalabing oras, no? We just have a few minutes left. So I'd like to take this opportunity to let Jimmy Villanueva, no, to tell our people ano ba yung mga plano, ano pa yung pinagagawa natin dito sa Stratcom. Baka akala ng mga kababayan natin, we're just talking and yakking and everything. So Jimmy of Stratcom Secretariat, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, bali right now po, ang pinaka-importante ginagawa namin is actually collating all the data from the different clusters kasi talagang nagtutulong-tulungan lahat from LICA, from SUCBEM, from SACAM, lahat po yun. And then, yung pong lahat ng materials na yun, we disseminate and share to the public. Pero ang pinaka-importante pong ginagawa right now ng Stratcom is that we are really depending on the RTFs, the regional task forces of different regions na manggaling sa kanila talaga yung news para on the ground yung news and then dadating sa national. So talagang ina-activate namin talaga lahat ng mga information officers, lahat, everything. Tapos we are doing trainings po para maganda yung kanilang mga nilalabas na mga output, mga social media cards, etc. And the most important thing po na ginawa namin right now is yung website po. It's already up and running. So it's everybody you can look at it, no? It's at ntflcac.org and you can look there. Lalo na if you're asking questions about this BTP, meron pong portal doon. Real time po, nandoon po lahat ng information about the BDP na you can look at and study and scrutinize and everything. Nandoon po lahat. So bukod po doon, nandoon yung history of the atrocities of the CPP, NPA, NDF, lahat po nandoon. And it's a work in progress. We'll be continuing to improve it. And kung meron po kayong mga comments about the website, just tell us. We will incorporate whatever po yung mga input na kailangan pong gawin. Yun lang po muna, sir.
All right, thank you. So hindi
Well,
lang
may I add?
Oo, galing, congratulations ha, Yusek Lorraine, no? Everybody doon sa
Yusek
website,
Lorraine.
napakaganda. Yes, please.
In that BDP, in that website, what Jimmy was saying, there's geotagging. That means
Geotagging.
you can see when the road is, you can monitor the progress. The road gets longer and longer. That schoolhouse gets completed a little at a time. So this is what we want. The kind of government that we want, that's very clear and very, very transparent and very accountable to its people. Because in a few months we'll be out of this, we'll be out of government. So that's what we want. So this is the standard, this is the peg that we want to leave to our people. And so the next government, the next president that you're going to choose will be somebody who will continue the programs of our president. Continuity.
That's right, continuity. Yan ang mahalaga, no? Anyway, nako, thank you very much for that Jimmy, no, para alam ng mga kababayan natin. Malaki po ang aming ginagawa dito. Hindi lang kami basta nagsasalita. At ang mga sinasabi po namin ay dumadaan po sa aming lahat yan, no? Just rest assured na hindi po namin kayo bobolahin. Kahit po magkuryentehan kami ng mga nagbibintang sa amin na kami dito, lie detector test, no? Sa amin po, ready kami anytime, all the time, 24/7. At kami naman po, pag may mga updates, ay binibigay po namin sa inyo. Well, of course, no, lahat ng bagay ay, alam mo, sabi nga nila, nagkakaroon ng conclusion. So, we finally reached the conclusion of this program. Thank you very much, Pia Morato. My sister, my very beautiful and smart sister, Pia Morato, for giving us the opportunity, no, to be on her to own her program, actually, Education Radio. So before we end, I'd like to get the last message or final words from our spokespersons here. Unahin na po natin si Gay. Your message to our people, Gay.
A very simple message lang po, na magsama-sama na po tayo lahat para matapos na po ito. When we say matapos na po ito, we don't mean anything violent, but magsama-sama tayo, let's do our share. Let's take this opportunity, na may pandemic tayo, of let's take the opportunity to link up. We're seeing this now, sir, and itong selflessness natin, itong wanting to help in whatever capacity that we can. So let's use this opportunity. Let's not squander itong opportunity to link up and help and magsama-sama tayo. I'm sure the NTF-ELCAC team, the whole team, ganito rin po ang ginagawa. So, yun lang po, sir. Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Okay, thank you, Gay. And of course, our STRATCOM cluster chair, Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy, your final message, Yusek Lorraine.
Yeah, yung lagi kong uulitin, hindi kaya ito ng gobyerno mag-isa. Hindi rin kaya ng Pangulo natin ito mag-isa, kahit na this president is one of a kind. I don't even know when we're going to see another president like this. So while he's here, while we have a president who's so brave and whose every waking hours is for us, every waking second is for the country. While he's here, we should all do our part. The biggest mistake that we can commit is to think that we have all these imagined differences between us, diba? But in reality, we have our shared ground, and we should stand resolutely there. That love for country, that love for the poorest of the poor, and we should fight for them. Kasi the president cannot do it alone, NTF-ELCAC cannot do it alone, the whole government cannot do it alone. The one that will win this battle is the Filipino people. Paulit-ulit yan. Kaya alam ng CPP-NPA yan. Kaya nga yung ginawa talaga nila, inana nila yung lahat ng sectors. Talagang in-infiltrate nila. Pero alam namin, ramdam namin na kayo ay nasa side na namin. Kaya alam namin panalo na tayo. Sandali na lang ito. Pero huwag tayong bibitaw at kapit-bisig kayo ang magpapapanalo dito. At kami nagpapasalamat na pinagkakatiwalaan ninyo kami. At lumalaban kayo sa tabi namin. We're going to assure you na, like the President, magpapakamatay kami para dito. And I mean that literally. Ang NTF-ELCAC yata ay gawa yata ng mga pinakamatatapang na nakita ko sa buong buhay ko. At gusto ko talaga magbigay pugay sa mga former rebels at saka sa ating mga kasundaluhan at ating kapulisan. Yan ang totoong mga bayani natin. Never, ever, ever forget that. Kaya ako ay nagbibigay pugay sa kanila. Maraming salamat at mag-isang mahalin natin ang ating bansa. Isa lang ito. Yes. Isa lang ito.
All right.
Maraming salamat.
All right. Galing. Thank you very much for those inspiring words, Yusek Lorraine. And ladies and gentlemen, we finally reached the end of our program. And at this juncture, I'd like to thank, of course, DZRJ, Radyo Bandido TV, and of course, Ms. Pia Morato for allowing us to own our program for this Saturday episode of Education Radio. And to our kababayans everywhere, ugaliin po ninyo manood, makinig sa Education Radio ni Ms. Pia Morato tuwing alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga kada Sabado po. So yun lang po, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng nakinig, sumubaybay, nanood sa ating po lahat, sa ating mga kababayan, na sana ay naabot ng mga online at ng airwaves, at ng mga connection. Wag po kayong mag-alala. Pag wala na po sila, Nandiyan na po ang development, ang barangay development program. Magkakaroon na rin po kayo ng signal. So thank you very much, Yusek Lorraine, Ms. Gail Correndo, and Jimmy Villanueva. Maraming po salamat. See you on Monday. Mayroon pa tayong activity on Monday. Everybody, mga kabandido, maraming po salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Have a wonderful and safe and blessed weekend. Thank you very much. This is Yusek Joveleko signing off. Thank you.